Hello, good day. I am Fuljan B. Feliciano from VIS IT3R3, and today's task we're gonna implement VLANs and inter-VLANs routing configuration. So to start with, we must know our objectives, which is the part 1. We must build the network and configure IP address on the PCs and configure basic device settings for the switches and the router. In part 2, we must create a VLANs and assign switch ports. In part 3, configure an 802.1q trunk between the switches. And part 4, we must configure inter-VLAN routing on the router. And part 5, lastly, we must verify inter-VLAN routing is working. So here we have a background scenario. I already read this lately, and required resources. We use a packet tracer to simulate the network, what is I'm using now. So let's begin to the part 1. We must build the network and configure the basic device settings. So in our example here, we have one router, and we just use the switches with 2960. We have two switches, so I just use the control to put the multiple switches. We have two switches, and here we also have two PC. So here we must rename this router as R1 switch S1 S1. Another switch is S2, and our PC is PC-A, and the second PC is PC-B. So we already renamed our end devices, router and switches. So what we're gonna do is to connect them with the switch, so straight through. So in connections, we will use a copper, and I will control to multiple connection. So here in router we have a Giga Internet 01 to Fast Internet 05. And to switch from the switch Citron to switch 2, we have Fast 01 to Fast 01. Fast Internet 01 to Fast Internet 01. And from switch 1 to PCA, that is Fast 06 to this end device PCA. It's Fast 018 to this device PCB. So we already configure it. So press exit, and let's just fix this out. And just wait to become it green. So we already done our part 1. Part 1 in topology. Sorry. So in step 2, we must configure basic settings for the router. So to do that, we'll go to the router and CLI. And here, would you like to enter initial configuration? Yes or no? So no. And enter, and let's go to the enable set our name for our router as R1. Here we already assign the device name to the router. So D, we must disable the Starcraft lookup to the router for attempting to translate incorrectly entered commands as true to our host name. So to do that, we must use this command, no IP domain lookup, domain lookup, and domain lookup. And E, we must assign class as the privileged execute encrypt password. Enable the password will be a class. So F, assign Cisco as the console password and enable login. So to do that, we must go to the line console 0 and assign the password as Cisco, perform login, and to save that we must exit it. Okay, we already assigned the password as Cisco. G, assign Cisco as PDI password and enable login. So G line BTY, let's go to line BTY 015 and assign the password as Cisco. Perform login and save. So H, exit. Login. Assign Cisco. So here we in H encrypt the plain text password. So to do that we have saved this command. Alright, so we will encrypt the password with encryption. Then we already have the password encryption. So create a banner that warns anyone accessing the device that unauthorized access is prohibited. This is just to secure our configuration. So to create a banner, we must use this. We must use this command: banner motd and and we just copy this unauthorized prohibited, and that is our warning sign. Oh, sorry. Then okay, I just send the banners and save. I already saved that, and letter key, set the clock in the router. So first of all, we must check the clock if is it updated. To do that, press enter. Do that show clock. So here this packet tracer doesn't update its clock. So to do that, we must set the clock by using this command: clock set. It's time for now 9:52. 9:52. 9:52. Seconds. Then the date for today, November 11, 2020. Okay, so we are already done with our step 2 in part 1. So let's proceed to the step 3. Configure basic settings for each switch. First of all, we must assign a device name to a switch. So to do that, we have two switch here. So let's assign this for each of these two. So let's go to the CLI and enable. Then let's set the name as 1. Okay. This command that I will do is just like the command that we will assign for this other switch. So in B, disable DNS lookup to prevent the router from attempting to translate incorrectly entered commands as true. They were host name, so we already done this before in the router, so it's easy for us. So no IP domain lookup done. Then assign class as the privilege except encrypted password. So to do that, enable security in the password this class. Assign Cisco as the console password and enable login. So let's go to the line console server. Line console server and set the password Cisco. Login and save. Sorry. So that we must use the exit command here. So let's proceed. In letter E, we must assign the Cisco as the VTY password and enable login. So it's just the same, but it is in the line VTY 0 Let's assign the password as Cisco. Login and save. Save. So next is to encrypt the plain text password. So to do that, we must use the service password. So encryption. So next is you must create a banner that warns anyone accessing the device that unauthorized access is prohibited. So it's just the same that the command that we implement in the router. So the command for it is banner emotd, then the parameter is $sign. Let's use warning. So here we have already done with the banner. So set the clock on the switch. Let's check the clock if it is correct. Sorry. This one. take to the command of banner. So correct. We need to do that. So here I just paste this error that I just solved. It's because that I didn't use the exit command to perform the show clock. So here we have an updated clock. So we must set that by this command. Clock set. Clock set. So time now is 10:33 November 11. Clock set 10:33 and November 11, 2020. Let's see the clock. So here we already done this show clock and save the running configuration to startup configuration. To do that, we must run start. Okay. Then same thing with the switch 2, same configuration as in switch 1. Let's go to CLI, then enable quantity, host name as S2, BSN, IP, domain, secret, password is plus. And let's go to the line console server. Let's set the password as Cisco from login and save. So here we go to the assign the Cisco as the BTY password and enable login. So to do that, line BTY set the password Cisco login and save. So same we done before. I lightly encrypt the plain text. So to encrypt that, we must use the service password encryption and banner MOTD. Just use this, and now we are done with the step one part A. So let's go to the B. Configure the management interface and default gateway on each switch using the IP address information and data. So let's do the default gateway. So here you can see as we have IP address of our switch 1 and switch 2. We just copy this. For the configuration and the subnet mask and the default gateways. It is the same with the S2. It has an IP address and subnet mask and default gateway. We'll do that. I already copied it. Let's go here. And you can see it is a full interface with the VLAN 10. We are here. First, let's go to the interface. VLAN 10. Sorry. Interface. And as you can see, it is it's up to the VLAN 10. So we need to get a command. So let's set the IP address. We already copied that, so let's just paste here. Paste. And the subnet mask is, let's use 0. Then okay. So the I'm done with this, so let's also done with the switch 2. And I already changed the VLAN 10 that changed state to up. So let's set the IP address. Let's set the IP address. Let's just copy the IP address of the switch 2. I'm sorry, switch 2. So here, just copy the IP address of switch 2 and the subnet mask is I'm sorry, I misspelled it. So, now I will exit and let's set the IP default gateway. Let's paste we are done addressing the IP address of each switch. So let's proceed to the letter C. Assign all unused ports on the switch to the parking lot VLAN. Configure them to the static mode and administratively activate them. So okay, here in this topology we use so here in the letter C, assign all unused ports on the switch to the parking lot VLAN, configure them for the static mode and administratively deactivate them. Note: the interface range command is helpful and proceed to view commands if necessary. So to do that, we will use this command. Let's go to the switch and CLI. Let's go to the interface range. Give the comma and FA /7 24. We have a gigabit slash 1. So we'll assign this as in the parking lot. Let's go to the parking lot VLAN. Here, interface assign. So here we will use the switch port mode access. Switch port mode access. So and we will shut down this unused port. Shut down. Okay, you can verify this configuration and just end it and show IP interface. So let's just show interface, show IP interface. Wait, sorry. Show IP interface. So space and just see all the ports here. If it's 0/1, this is if it's internet /1. Okay. Now let's do this in switches too. Let's go to the interfaces that we not use. Interface range FA 0/2 because we use we use 18 to connect the I am sorry, I am wrong with that. So distance. That's 2. Switch port. Okay. So let's go to the step 2. Assign VLANs to the correct switch interfaces. And letter A. Assign use ports to the appropriate VLANs specified in the VLANs table above and configure them for the static access mode. And we verify the VLANs that assigns to the correct interface. Let's go to the VLANs table so we can see. We see interface assigned. VLAN 10 on S1 and S2. VLAN 20 and assign S1 F0/6. And VLAN 30 and S2 is F0/18. Already done this. All the unused ports. Now we must do the S1. Then we go to the S2. Let's go to S2. Switch port access VLAN 30. I'm sorry for that. I have mistake for the interface. Interface A, CBT, switch port mount access switch 6. Okay, so we must have verified that, and let's verify that by showing VLAN brief and verify it. Here we can see that our management and operation is connecting to So we're already done with the part 2, so let's proceed in the part 3. Configure an 802.1 key trunk between the switches. In part 3, we manually configure trunk interface F0/1 on switch 1 and S2. Configure static trunking on interface F01/1 for both switches. We will do that. This one to that interface. So to configure it, you must use the sorry for that. First of all, I must switch port. Sorry, and let's just verify it by show enter place trunk command. So, and here we can see the mode is on, the status is trunking, and the native VLAN is default VLAN. Yes, and let's go to and let's just also verify that. And here you can see the FA01 is the mode is auto, and this is also trunking. Status is trunking, but we can see the mode is auto. So we must configure manually and auto switches. So we can do that as we can verify it by N, and let's show interface. Let's see. We can see is the mode is on. Next is the set the native VLAN to 1000 on both switches. So okay, we can do that, we will go to S1 and 150 and 150 and 0 S3 S01 7 and native VLAN is 1 by default, so you can change that. So there, the from the inconsistent message. Okay, we have to change the install, so CLI. So here I must connectivity interface. Okay, 01. Sorry, I'm sorry. Interface. Okay. 0/1. So here in letter C, I just done it with this command. Specify the VLANs 10, 20, 30, and 100. So we must remove the 1 and VLANs 1 and VLANs 99. So here in switch mode trunk, then I will use the command switch port trunk allowed VLAN only those 10, 20, 30, and 1000. So let's start to verify the trunking code. Now to verify that, this command will let's see. So as can you see, in our FA01, we have only VLANs 10, 20, 30, and 1000. The 1 and the 999 are already removed. So here it goes. And let's proceed to the part 4 of our configuration inter-VLAN routing on the router. So step 1, configure the router. In step 2, complete the following test from PCA and all should be successful. Step 3, complete the following test from PC/-B. So first of all, we will first move to the letter A, active interface G001 as necessary into the router. And now let's proceed to the step 2 of the part 3. Step 2, manually configure S1 trunk interface in F0/5. So as you can see, F0/5 is connecting to the router of this. Configure S1 interfaces F5 in the same trunk parameters. This is the trunk to the router. So it will be then switch port on trunk, switch port on trunk, and switch trunk negative VLAN. It's 1000, right? Okay, and also we must remove the VLAN, the 19999. Okay, so we can do that. Allow VLAN, allow VLAN, allow VLAN 10, 20, wait, 20, 30, and 1000 only. So that's okay. It is added now. And now we will verify it. And now you can see in our, we have only 1000, 10, 20, 30 only. And now we will save this. Copy our data. So okay, it is saved. So okay, so now we will let's proceed to the part 4 of configuration inter-VLAN routing in the router. So step 1, in A, active interface G001 in necessary in the router. So let's do that in the router CLI. Password is Cisco. Enable. Password is class. And so C 0/1, right? And we will give shutdown command. Shutdown. Let's go to this. Oh, as you can see, the status of our FA0/1 and 5 are trunking, and native VLANs are 1000, right? And now let's proceed to the B. Configure sub-interference for each VLAN as specified in the IP address table. All sub-interference use 8.0.2.1 encapsulation. Ensure the sub-interference for the native VLANs that not have IP address assigned. Include a description for each interference. So to do that, so here let's see the table of our G. Let us configure these sub networks. So we will go to the R1, we will go to the CLI and set with this physical interface. Go to the interface G 0/0/1.10. Okay, and let's set the IP address that I will copy in here. So I'll copy this. I'm sorry ma'am for the naputol akong pag-video tungod sa pag-post. Dili na ako mabalik ang akong configure, so I will demo it again. I will explain it in R1 that in the interface G0 point I assign their description by the 20 as description VLAN 20, that 1.30 for VLAN 30, and that's what I have done. That wala na ako na record. And for the continuation of my configuration, I am here at interference, and I am interfacing in G0 1 1000 and set the description as VLAN 100 dash native. So okay, and let's apply the encapsulation that 1Q that encapsulation, sorry for that, encapsulation that 1Q. VLAN array is 1000 and this is native, so let's specify as native here. And so now let's verify the sub interfaces are operational. I'm sorry. So show IP interface, and here we can see the status is up. It is very operational. So let's proceed to the step 2. Complete the following tests from PC-A. All should be successful. So there's a note. You may have to disable the PC firewall for pings to work. And A, ping from PC-A to its default gateway. Ping from PC-A to PCB. Ping from PC-A to S2. So to do that, to ping our PC-A to default gateways here. So let's go to the command prompt and ping 192.168.20.1. So it works. It is very worked well. And now B, ping from PCA to PCB. To perform that, we'll go to sa command line. Ping ping to PC that ping is 192.168.30.3. So let's see. Okay. So request timeout, and we see that it is working. And now ping the PCA to switch to. So let's check the switch to IP address. So here, let's just copy this IP address. And let's ping the switch to. So S2. Let's see. Waiting for the replies. So request timeout. We have a request timeout and waiting for reply. Yes, we can see it is very working, and it is our configuration is successful. And 0%, it has a 0% loss with an average of 0 miss. So in the final step, step 3, complete the following test from PC/B, and from the command prompt window on PCB, issues the reset command to the address of PC-A. What intermediate IP address are shown to the result? So let's see. So to perform the reset, let's go to the PC-B and go to the command prompt, then tracer to PC-A. I will just copy it to my notebook. So let's see. Oh, it's working. It trace complete. As can you see, it goes to default gateway. As can you see here, and you can see trace complete there. And now our configuration are all working, and I am so very thankful for my classmate to help me, and it is very challenging for me to do this configuration. So thank you.